Chapter 6 My Brother Sam is Dead. My biggest problem was getting to see Mr. Heron. If Father saw me talking to him, he'd be suspicious. And if he found out that it was me who started the conversation, he'd know right away that it was what it was all about. But luckily, 2 days later, Mr. Heron came into the tavern to buy a small keg of rum. My father wasn't around, and Mother said, "Tim will bring it right over, Mr. Heron." Stop the audio and read page 75. Start the audio when you're ready to listen to page 76. I do, though. I didn't have any option either way, but I thought it would help if he believed that I was a strong loyalist. He smiled, a kind of funny smile. "You've got your brother's spirit, haven't you?" Being compared with Sam made me feel good. "I'm as brave as he is," I said. I believe it, he said. I suppose I did let you run some errands for me. What would you tell your father? I'd tell him I was shad fishing. And come home with no fish? I'd tell him they weren't running or something. You can't always expect to catch something. He rubbed his forehead, thinking, "All right, if you come up early tomorrow morning, I'll have something for you to do to earn a shilling or so." So that night I asked Father if I could go fishing again, and he said yes. I felt sort of bad about it. It was lying, and lying was a sin, and so was going against your father, and even if it hadn't been a sin, I would have felt badly about it, because Father trusted me, and I was being dishonorable. But I wanted some glory too much to be honorable, so Wednesday morning I got up way before the sun, when it was just beginning to get light, took my fishing line and hooks and made my excuse hold up, and walked down to Mr. Heron's house. I was lucky. It was a good day. That time of year, it could have easily been pouring rain and cold, but as the sun came up, there were only streaks of cloud in the sky. The birds were singing and the wildflowers along the roadside were bright and gray. I felt excited in a good way, and as I walked along to Mr. Heron's, I began to whistle Yankee Doodle. Before I remembered that I ought to keep quiet so people wouldn't notice where I was going. Read the rest of page 77 by yourself, and start the audio again when you're ready for 78. Just before you get to the dock, there's a road off to the left. Down the road about a mile, there's a house with white siding and green trim. Knock there, ask for Mr. Burr, and give him this letter. He'll give you a shilling. Right? Now repeat it back. I did so. Then I tucked the letter down inside my shirt and left, slipping out the back way and through his pasture before I cut back onto the road. The sun was now up and was rising over the meadowland to the east. I judged it to be about 7 o'clock. The sun wouldn't go down again until around 7 at night, which gave me 12 hours, plenty of time if I walked along swiftly. In fact, if everything went well, I could easily get back by the middle of the afternoon, which might even give me time to catch a few shad to show Father. I hid the fishing tackle behind a stone wall, just in case. I moved at a brisk pace, despite the sun. The air was morning, cool and fresh. It was nice weather for walking, and I felt excited, not scared. I was worried about dropping the letter, though, and I kept touching it to make sure it hadn't fallen out of my shirt. After a while, I came to the place where the road from the center runs into Fairfield Road. I stopped for a minute to rest, to see if I couldn't find a better way to stow the letter so it would be safe. I was trying to find a way to hitch it under my belt when I heard somebody shout. I looked up. Betsy Reed was coming down the road from the center. Read page 79 by yourself and start the audio again when you're ready for page 80. It was better to have her talk than me because it saved me lying. I don't know. Shopping for cloth? Guess again. Horseneck was down on Long Island, too, but much further than Fairfield. I couldn't figure out what she might be doing there. Visiting your cousins? I don't have any cousins down there. What then? Seeing Sam, she said. I stopped, dead, in the road. Sam? Is he in Horseneck? I shouldn't tell you that. You're a Tory. Anyway, he's not there anymore. They've gone someplace else. We weren't walking along anymore, but facing each other. I was all excited. How do you know Sam's there? Mr. Heron told me. Mr. Heron? How does he know? He's a Tory. She frowned. Well, I know that, but he said Sam was there with a commissionary officer scouting for beef. It didn't make any sense. Mr. Heron was supposed to be a Tory. He wasn't supposed to know where American commissary officers were. Suddenly I realized I was wasting time. Where is he now? I won't tell you. You're a Tory. That's not fair, Betsy. He's my brother. God, Tim, you tried to shoot him. I blushed. Is Sam all right? Yes, he was in a battle. I guess I better not tell you about it. You can tell me if it already happened, can't you? I better not, she said. Listen, I said, I better get going. We started walking. Where are you off to in such a rush? She said. If you won't tell me anything, I won't tell you either. I thought that was a pretty smart answer. It was like one of Sam's telling points. All right, sulk, she said. Besides, I know you're carrying a love letter for somebody. You've just got love on your mind because of Sam. I said. Something was puzzling me. Betsy, how come Mr. Heron didn't tell me about Sam this morning? Because you're a Tory. But so is he, I said. She stopped. What were you seeing Mr. Herring about this morning? I realized I made a bad mistake. Oh, I just happened to go by his house this morning, and he was there. There? Where? He was standing in the yard. Doing what? She asked. How do I know what he was doing? He wouldn't have been standing. The letter. Tim, you're lying. The letter. He gave you the letter to carry. Tim, where are you going with that letter? She was pretty excited and kind of bouncing around in front of me. I have to go, Betsy. She jumped in my way. Oh, no, you don't. Not until you tell me about the letter. Read the rest of page 82 and restart the audio when you're ready for page 83. She snatched at my shirt, but I ducked back. Don't, Betsy. It's Mr. Heron's. Tim, you're going to get Sam killed. They'll set up an ambush for them and kill them all. No, I said. It's true, Tim. Figure it out. You can't deliver that letter. I have to, I said. She stood in front of me, kind of begging. Tim, let's open it and see if there's nothing important in it. Then you can deliver it. I can't break the seal, Betsy. It's Mr. Heron's letter. I could be put in jail for that. Tim, it's your brother. They're going to kill. Just throw the letter away and say you lost it. I didn't know what to do. I felt awful, sick, and scared. I didn't say anything. Tim, give me that letter. Read the rest of the chapter on your own.